What's up, everybody? This is the weekly watch list. First thing first, I want to talk about some major red news that we have going into next week. So on Tuesday, we have at 10 a.m. Eastern time, we have CB consumer confidence. On Thursday, we have final GDP and unemployment claims at 8:30 Eastern. And on Friday, we have core PCE price index, and we have revised UOM consumer sentiment at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. To get into my first ticker, I want to talk about uranium, URA. This is URA ETF. We have a nice weekly setup. We have a nice 2-1 Momo hammer above $27.14. I'm looking for entry. So this thing been running up, for some time now. It slowed down this week, so I'm looking for that TTO back to the upside. We do have a yearly break at $28.49. So you go to that year. It's 212 up on the year, so I'm looking forward to that. Another uranium ticker I want to talk about is UEC, Uranium Energy Corp. This one, we have an outside year at $6.60. And on the week, we also have a nice 2-1 setup above $5.48. Next thing I want to talk about, well, this is a little bonus. I want to have my eyes on BB, BlackBerry. They do have earnings at the end of the week. We got a double inside on this one. And it's been holding this $5.05 level. So I want to see if we get the TTO back to the upside and hopefully shoot for $5.55 to $5.72. Next ticker I want to talk about is ABVI. So ABVI, it's been moving sideways on its point of control. I still like the weekly. So this one could go either way. I have no bias on ABVI. I just like the way it was strong while everything was dumping this week. So this is something I'm going to have my attention on. I like calls above 154.85, and I like puts below 151.71. No bias on this one. I like it for both ways. If this one decides to give out, it should be a nice, drop to the downside or a nice push to the upside. I always pay attention to consolidation, and I know that a move is soon coming for ABVI, so I want to keep my attention on that one. We still have, a nice green month. So we start to take that up to the upside. We're looking at a new monthly candle soon, right? So I'm looking for that 3-2 month going to the upside. So keep your eyes on that. Another one I want to talk about is Baba. I'm not a big fan of China, but I don't want to ignore this setup that Baba is giving us at the moment. We have a nice 2 down, 2 up setup on the weekly time frame above $88.85. We're looking forward to that one. I want to talk about some downside plays. I'm seeing everybody has their eyes on Apple, so do I. One thing I want to note about Apple is, even though this looks sexy, this looks great, right? Nice 3-1 double inside, possible to the downside. If we do not break 173.58, and if we do not break 170.52 in force, it will end up going back to the upside. Seen it happen a lot, how price action works. So I'm not biased on this one. I like it for the downside. So we get past 173.58, 170.52 in force. It should be a nice drop, especially if we still bearish going into next week. If not, I am expecting a bounce back to the upside on this one. Another one I like is CAT for the downside. Nice 3-2 setup on CAT. We do have some, on the month, we do have a nice 2 up, 2 down possible in the month, below 268.80. So with this one also, we have some major levels to break on this one. If we don't get above below 268.80, I expect to bounce back to the upside. So we got to get through these 2 ranges. It's where, it reversed that before. We got to get below that. And that's also the monthly trigger to the downside. I got a little nice gap to fill. So that should be a good one if it ends up coming on down. Last but not least, like Meta. So Meta doesn't have the sexiest setup for me at the moment. I just like the way Meta held up during the time everything else was dumping last week. So I just want to keep my eyes on Meta. We do have a shooter at the moment. I like Meta for both sides. First, on the downside, if we could go 2 up, 2 down below $298.02, that is my entry point. Major range to break is this 293.27. If we could get through that, I could see a nice drop. We have to get through 293.27 for me to be super confident in the downside. If that doesn't happen, I do like Meta for the upside. It ended the week green, so there's still some strength there. We have this shooter. We kind of failed to go down. I want to see if we can still go down by next week. But if that doesn't happen, I do have my options open for the upside to continue in strength. We did catch the upside on Friday. A lot of us ate on that. So we're going to see how well Meta, or how strong rather, it ends up being next week. If it's weak, we do got a nice downside potential on this one, and that's what I'll be watching. If you got any questions, hit me up. Feel free to check in on my Oilyboyz. Y'all know what it is, and peace.